Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rich in the Philippines. Why? Because that's my name, is Richard. Steve's got another day off, I'm filling in, and as always, thank you for your support for this channel. We really do appreciate it. Today's going to be a little shorter because I'm going to talk about something I believe can be handled quicker, and that's this one issue that I've thought about since I've been here, and that's the tipping culture. When do I tip? Should I tip? How much should I tip? I had so many questions, and finally, about 6 months ago, I started to really talk to business owners, restaurants in particular, and ask them, what are your thoughts? What do you think? What do you expect? How do you see it? And the answers, they really surprised me. I've been following a bunch of chat groups, and it comes up all the time. And some people are adamant, don't tip too much. You're ruining it for all of us. And I understand that, I get it. However, I've said this 25 times on these different videos, you do you and I'll do me. So I finally broke it down with some business owners and said, tell me what you think and tell me what your experience is. And I just had a meeting as of last night with a restaurant owner. And I've had several, but last night I did it. And I really wanted to do this video today. And I asked her straight out, do Filipinos tip? And her response was, and she's had many successful restaurants. Her response was, no. Overall, the majority of Filipinos do not tip. She went in to say they're very kind. When they like service, they're very appreciative. They say kind words. She said the majority of Filipinos do not tip. And I said, well, what is the majority? Break it down for me. And she believed, again, very, very smart business owner, she believed that it was 30 to 40% tip, Filipinos, at her restaurants. I said, okay, that sounds fair information. And then I went on to the next question, which was, when they do tip, what do they tip? And she thought about it, and she said, well, and she has, I don't want to say street food, but some of her food is affordable and some more expensive. And she said, on average, they tip about 30 to 40. And I said, percent? And she said, no, that's pesos. And I said, oh, wow. She said, sometimes it's just 20%. And so then I asked the really big question that I wanted to know. I said, oh, what about the foreigners? And she smiled. She said, well, some of them don't tip. And then she said something that I thought was funny, and I will share with you. She goes, you're our biggest tipper. And what's funny about that is that in my younger days, working in corporate world, I had a expense account, and I was constantly getting in trouble. They called me Diamond Jim, and that's because they claimed that I tipped too high. And my feelings about tipping in America, and it carries over here, my feelings about tipping is that, what, if you give great service, if you're friendly, if the food is good, and I have a few extra pesos, here you go. I don't have a steadfast rule that I give a certain amount every time. I do it per situation. Anyway, my company said, we're only going to pay 20%, 15-20%. Everything above that is on you. I said, fine. When I had superior service, because sometimes I would do parties with large groups of clients, if I thought that it was worth more, I paid it out of my own pocket. I didn't I didn't care about that. But getting back to here in the Philippines, so I said, do foreigners tip? And she said, not as a rule. And then I asked the $1 million question. I said, do you expect a tip from foreigners? And she said, absolutely not. She said, we don't look at them any differently than Filipinos. They're customers, they're clients, they're here to enjoy our food and our service. And, you can tell me, oh, she's an exception to the rule, my experience. And go ahead, tell me your experiences down below. I'm always interested to hear what other people say. And this is Cavite. Remember that? We're about an hour and 40 away from Manila. We're in a very thriving community here with a lot of up-and-coming middle class, I believe, and a pretty decent, solid government. So people have some pesos to spend. They eat out a lot. And so there's a lot of, she does a good business. Now, I will talk about, just briefly, and again, I'm open to your thoughts down below. There does seem to be a certain sect of foreigners that just want to throw their money away. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I said it before. It's your money. You do you, I'll do me. I have seen, though, on occasion, foreigners just, I call them daddy warbucks, where they pass out 100 peso notes or even 1,000 peso notes and light their cigars with them. Joke long, only slightly. But the point is that they seem to have a lot of pesos and want to spend them freely. Dude, those are your pesos. Do with as you please. And I've heard other expats say, well, don't do that because it ruins it for all of us. I don't get that feeling from Filipinos. The feeling that these restaurant owners have given me is that, yes, they realize that some expats have more pesos. Yes, they have worked for those pesos on their own situation. They might have had tough lives, saved their money. At least that's the feedback that I got from the business owners, the restaurant owners that I talked to, and I've talked to many. So, again, if I'm in a situation where I get good service, I give a good tip. And I don't do it 20% anymore because I've had more than one Filipino tell me, don't do that, keep it in this range. And I'm like, okay, I won't give as big as I used to give in America, but I'll still give a good tip. Now, here's a perfect example. I went to a restaurant the other day, and I'm not going to say the name. I go there all the time, and I know the managers, and they know me. I walk in, and that's, kind of like the bank. I walk in, they're like, oh, hey, Richard, do you want the usual? And sometimes I say yes, sometimes I say no. However, I've seen this happen at a couple different restaurants, so I know that I don't think it's me being a foreigner. I just think it's them having a bad day. So I ordered my meal, and I found some lettuce, yay! And so I ordered my salad, I had my salad, and I'm waiting for my main. Doesn't come. I finally get up, and I'm like, where's my main? Oh, sorry, Po, I forgot to put it in. Now, you can bet that I did not leave a tip. I think I left 20 pesos, and nor have I been back. I will. I just think that the girl had a bad day or, had something else on her mind. Again, we're dealing with humans. Humans will make mistakes. Not that big of a deal. The point is the service wasn't here, and so I didn't tip here. And I would recommend that with you. Again, I'm really curious of what your thinking is on tipping here in the Philippines. And it was really funny to hear this restaurateur go, oh, you're our biggest tipper. And I'm telling you, when I walk in, they know my name. I feel they give me exponential service. And with that, I don't feel I tip a huge amount, maybe 50 pesos, never 100, well, because the food is such price at such. However, I reward it. And I recommend that to anybody. And as far as steadfast rules, I don't know if I have them or believe in them. I base each situation on each situation. And I would recommend you do the same and not worry about it. Because I was really worried about it. I'm like, oh man, should I, will I slight them if I don't give them a tip? Or how much should I give? And I just kind of free flow it. If it's good service, I give a tip. If not, I don't. Now, as far as service goes, like they come in to fix your house or do something like that, I offer cold water or a cold Coke. I hardly ever have it, so I give it away. I don't really go big on tipping. That kind of concerns me. I know many expats that give, hundreds of pesos tips for them doing their job. I don't really do that, and nor do I want to. It's just not my thing. Now, Lazada, I give him, 5, 10, 20 pesos every now and then. And that guy tracks me down. He knows my name. I see him on the street. And we exchange, niceties. I'm going to do a show on Lazada upcoming. I've had great luck with Lazada. My Lazada drivers are great guys. So I give them the change because I have never been a fan of change. Not in America, not in Germany, not in Ireland, no matter where I've been or lived. It's kind of a bane. And I know that pennies lead to dollars, blah, blah, blah. But here, have my pennies. They'll lead to dollars. So this has been Rich in the Philippines. Leave your comments down below. Thanks for watching. We appreciate your support.